Everybody, welcome back into another video. My name is Ty. Thanks for clicking on this one. This is a reply to Geoff over at Mendicant Media. He's doing a 3,000 subscriber giveaway, so congrats on 3,000 subs. That's awesome. I love the channel, man. Keep going. I love watching your pickups. You're always showing off shit that I know nothing about, so it's very cool. Exposing me to new music. That's what this is all about. I absolutely love it. You also got the good accent, so that's good. Draws people in. I think those accents, the non good old US of A accents, are good for that YouTube retention rate. Just the soothing voices. But anyways, man, thanks and for doing the contest, and congrats on 3,000 subs. I really like this idea too, going back to a specific year in your life and looking at records that impacted you. And you chose, Geoff chose albums that came out when you turned 30. So for me, that was 2021, so 5 years ago. And it was kind of a transition year for me. My wife and I had just moved into our now home. We moved into our home in the end of 2020. So 2021 was kind of settling in, doing a lot of housework, doing a lot of work on the home. And yeah, that's basically what the entire year was. And then 2022, our daughter was born. So it was kind of the calm before the storm. And, you know, you said just you could choose any year you wanted. Obviously, you're not carding people here. But I wanted to do it real. And I looked back on 2021 and I'm like, there was quite a bit of stuff that actually resonated with me. I forgot how good this year was. And some controversial releases, too, which we'll talk about. So I chose 5 releases, and yeah, I chose 5 releases, and I do have some honorables that I wanted to talk about as well. So let's get into them right now. My first honorable mention is At the Gates with The Nightmare of Being. Their 7th studio album, obviously Swedish mellow death band. I really dig this album. I think it's kind of polarizing. It's definitely, I do not own a physical, but it is definitely one of those albums where they tried to expand the sound. I mean, there's a saxophone on a song. At the Gates featuring a saxophone is definitely something that wasn't on my bingo card. But yeah, it's the 2nd studio album with Jonas Stahlhammer on guitars. So Anders wasn't back in the band yet. He would come back on the next album, the album that just released this year. But I really dig The Nightmare of Being. I really dig all the stuff from the reunion era of the band. I think it's all good to great. And I think The Nightmare of Being is definitely a good album. I think it's a grower. They're trying to do different stuff with the sound. It's not a super long record, only 10 tracks, 45 minutes. So it's a pretty brisk listen. If you like At the Gates, if you like that mellow death, that Swedish, that Gothenburg sound, they capture it very well. They know how to do it. I love the guitar tones. The Swedish mellow death guitar tones are just, you know, that's just like honey to me. You know, butter me up, baste me. I will listen to that for hours and hours. And they always did it really well. I mean, some of the godfathers of that sound. And even without Anders, they produced 2 really solid albums, and The Nightmare of Being was one. I remember listening to it quite a bit, doing yard work just on a repeat over and over again. And it's a super interesting record because, like I said, you get saxophones, you get different instrumentation, different time signatures. They try to do different stuff and mix it up, and that's really cool, especially for a legacy band that could have just played it completely safe. They do stay on the safe side, but they dabble into let's try some different stuff. And honestly, if you get the deluxe box set too, or listen to that, you get all the live stuff. They do a King Crimson cover. Like, you know, they're flirting with progginess on The Nightmare of Being. So had to shout that one out as an honorable mention. Next up on the honorables, let's go ahead and let's do some non-metal stuff. Let's do ABBA's The Voyage. Really disappointing record for me. I am a huge ABBA fan. I grew up listening to them. They've written some of the best pop music of all time. And yeah, this record, man, I remember being so hyped for this album to come out. ABBA was finally coming back, and it's one of the biggest letdowns, I think, ever for me in music. Kind of crazy to say that's about ABBA, but yeah, I think I spun this like twice. I need to go back to it and give it another shot. I didn't for this video just because I had such a sour taste in my mouth. I remember the wife and I listened to this in the car. I think we were going out to Best Buy to like get a new TV. We were moving into a new house. We wanted a new TV. I wanted a new TV. And yeah, I just remember like in one ear, out the other. I'm just super disappointed. And yeah, I want to go back to it, but I figured I'd mention it did come out in 2021 and it did impact me, just not in a great way. That's for sure. Let's keep it going here. Some more non-metal stuff. We've got lead singer of Journey, also a huge band for me, dropped this record, The Season. It's a Christmas album, so not something you'd see often on a metal channel, but I figure I'd shout it out because I spin it every year, and it's a really great album. If you like seasonal holiday music, Christmas music, this is amazing. Steve, I'm really glad that he decided to do stuff again. He released a solo album before this, and then released 2 holiday albums, this and then the season 3 he dropped a few years ago. And yeah, I just remember being super excited when this came out because and his solo album came out, because Steve had not done anything for decades, since 96. And he really didn't want to, and didn't think that his voice was up to snuff anymore, and didn't want to seem like old man Steve Perry. But the dude still has it. He's an excellent musician. He's an excellent singer. One of the best voices in all of not only rock, but music history. And this album is awesome to spin during the holiday season. Highly suggest it if you are into that type of music during the right times of year. So yeah, Steve Perry with The Season. And we got some nice Christmas red vinyl. So that was pretty cool. I remember he did signed versions of that too at different Targets, and that's where I picked it up, but I didn't get the signed version, unfortunately. I would have been fanboying out if I got the signed version. This next one is an honorable. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. They're easily, number 2, right behind Rush. I love them. This is their last record as of now, but Iron Maiden, Senjutsu. Really, every Maiden album that comes out is kind of controversial. I listened to this the other night again. I spun this record a ton when it came out because it's a really long album, and I remember just having it on repeat, doing yard work over and over again. Is it good? I don't know. Is it bad? No, definitely not. They're amazing musicians. Bruce still sounds good. Just these songs need to be trimmed down a ton. This is a 3 LP set. It's ridiculous to listen to on vinyl. Like, don't do it to yourself. And I like this album. I do. It's just a hard listen. The production's not that great. I don't like Kevin Shirley. Somebody needs to tell Steve Harris just to cut 5 minutes out of each of these songs, and you might have an amazing album, truly. And just mix it up a little bit. Do a banger. Do a fast-paced song, then do a mid-paced song, then do a 10-minute epic, then do a ballad. Close the record with a 13-minute epic if you want. That's fine. And not every song needs to be 9+ minutes long. They're not that type of band. They never really were, frankly. I like this album for what it is, and it does hold a special place in my heart. I did see them on this tour, the Future Past tour. The tour got immensely delayed because of the pandemic, but yeah, I did see them on this tour one of the many times I've seen them. So every time I see Maiden, they put on an amazing show. So the records that they're touring on during that time frame do hold a special place in my heart, because oftentimes the songs are way better live, including this album. I also own the Walmart version. Because why not? Because it showed up into the bin, used bin, still sealed. So I bought that too. So I own 2 copies of it, of an album that I don't even really particularly care for that much. So yeah, let's keep rolling with the honorables. This might run a little bit long here, but I wanted to talk about all these. Gojira's Fortitude came out in 2021, the last record so far that they've done. I'm surprised it's taken this long to follow it up. One of the biggest bands in metal, and they're one of the bands that I don't love. Like, I'm not a huge Gojira fan, but I've grown up with them. I remember watching them and on many times. I remember them doing a tour with Behemoth in like 2008, 2009 that I went to, the Radio Rebellion tour. And they co-headlined with Behemoth, and they played a theater here that holds, 750 to 1,000 people back then. They've since expanded it. And there was maybe 200 people there, And then I saw them. I've seen them like 5 times, and every time I've seen them, they just grow and grow and grow. And then they played the Olympics opening ceremonies in France a couple years ago, which was absolutely crazy. That's a big deal, even if you're not a fan of this band. That's a big deal for extreme music. And don't get it twisted, this is extreme music. Like, they're not radio friendly at all. They don't get radio play. They flirt with prog. They flirt with different time signatures. It's very bass heavy. The vocals are, tend to be still pretty growly and extreme. And Mario is absolutely a beast of a drummer. He's one of my favorite drummers to watch live. I think he's one of the best drummers going today. And I really like this record, man. I mean, it's Gojira. They figured out what they did do well, and they do it well kind of over and over again. But the records are so interesting with the way they put the songs together, with the different time signatures, with their different little hooks and the harmonics, and just the different instrumentations that they do, and the subject matters that they write about. They grab you in that way, even though the records do tend to get kind of samey. They have a formula, but it works for them, and it resonates with a shit ton of people. So good on them. So yeah, this record, I dig it. Born for One Thing, Amazonia, Another World, really good songs. Into the Storm, that song's a ripper. This is the what was it? The Black Ice version. It's pretty nice. So yeah, that record, and I've seen that band so much, and I saw them on this tour as well. So that's why I had to include it in there. And then let's see here. Last honorable mention I had, Fear Factory released a record in 2021, the last with Burton C. Bell that we'll probably ever get, because Burton and Dino want to strangle each other every time they're in a room together, it seems. But yeah, Aggression Continuum. I do not own it physically. I need to pick it up. If you like Fear Factory, if you like industrial metal, this is a great record. They were doing it. They were doing it well. And ever since Burton came back to the band, and when Burton and Dino got back together, I should say, in like 2011, something like that. All those records are really solid. They're definitely Fear Factory. They're definitely industrial. They have, some of the more extreme vocals and Burton's clean vocals in there that are a great hook. Dino is such a great songwriter. Great drumming by Mike Heller on this record. It's a solid album. Like, they're not rewriting the rule book here, and it's kind of a safe Fear Factory album. But yeah, they did a really good job with those comeback albums, and it's a shame it blew up in everybody's face. But yeah, songs like Disruptor, Fuel Injected Suicide Machine, really cool. Cognitive Dissonance is a cool song. End of Line is like 7 minutes. It's a closer, but it's a really, really banger of a song. Yeah. It's a really good record, man. And I think a lot of people slept on that reunion era of Fear Factory, and it was really good. I'm excited to see what they do with the new singer. We'll find out. Time will tell. So that's all the honorables I had. We're like 15 minutes in, so let's actually get into the albums. So another non-metal one, but one that absolutely means a ton to me. The Killers with Pressure Machine, American rock band. The Killers, massive band in the early 2000s. Their debut album, Hot Fuss, is like a diamond plus, 10 million sold. And yeah, they're a massive band. But if you only know them for that first album, for that debut with, Somebody Told Me, and Mr. Brightside, obviously that song is massive. That song's bigger than the band now. But if you only know them for that, you're missing out on a ton. This record is very dark, very depressing, very folky. It's folk rock, heartland rock, Americana. They recorded it all analog, no digital on this, so it sounds amazing. And the album itself is a concept album about Brandon Flowers' hometown. So he grew up in a very small town, a very religious town, and it talks about the struggles of growing up in that small town, the opioid epidemics that have hit that town, the different tragedies that have happened, people dying in train crashes, people dying of overdoses, people dying of suicide. It talks about different tragedies and different positives of the town. It's a really dark, depressing album. And if you get the full version, they actually have snippets of interviews of people that still live in the town. So that's very cool. It's definitely a slice of Americana, heartland stuff, small town American living. If that's not your thing, I understand. It's definitely for a certain type of people. If you dig like Johnny Cash stuff, if you dig Bruce Springsteen, which I hate Bruce Springsteen, but I love this album. If you dig those types of artists, you'll probably dig this. And check out Runaway Horses. That has Phoebe Bridgers on there. That's a great song. West Hills, the opener, is a really good song too. Quiet Town, I dig that one. This is good stuff, and it means a ton to me because I spun this a shit ton in 2021. So yeah, check it out. Definitely a good one I wanted to talk about, even though it's not metal. Let's keep the metal going. Another one that means a ton. Mastodons. Oops, it's upside down. Mastodons, Hushed and Grim. Another dark, depressing album. This one is all about the band's longtime manager, Nick John, passing away of cancer. And this is the band's love letter to him and how they're coping with it, the loss of a friend. And it's a double album. It's 86 minutes. It is super long, and it's a tough listen. It's hard to get through. But this is one of the few albums that has ever made me tear up. If you haven't listened to any of the recent Mastodon stuff since they really got into prog and kind of expanding the sound and the psych stuff as well, this is one to check out. I would listen to half first and then the other half later. Don't try to listen to all of it in one sitting because you will kind of tire of it because it is so heavy, like heavy in lyrical content and themes, not heavy in music. There is some heavy parts on here for sure though. But the way this band does and all the hooks with all the, Brand singing and, Brent singing and Bill doing backing vocals and Troy singing lead, there's something here to grab you in almost every song, like Pushing the Tides, Tear Drinker, Sickle and Peace, More Than I Could Chew. More Than I Could Chew is probably my favorite song on there. I absolutely love that song. It's just kind of a good song for life. Like you ever, feel like you bit off more than you can chew. Like I think everybody's felt that way before. So they do a really good job of bringing you into the tragedies that have affected the band. And a lot of their albums are about stuff that has happened, bad stuff. Crack the Sky is partially inspired by the drummer Brand, his sister committing suicide. The Hunter, that is a tribute to Brent's brother dying in a hunting accident. Emperor of Sand is about different friends and family members dealing with cancer and dealing with treatment and chemotherapy and going through that. It's a concept record about that stuff. And super heavy. They do a really great job in modern era Mastodon of bringing you into what's going on in the band and what's affecting them. And I really dig it for that. This is a great album. It's a super hard listen. It's one of the only albums that makes me tear up almost every time I listen to it. And yeah, it's on clear vinyl. Great production. You can hear the guys well. They're all such immense monsters at what they do. One of my favorite bands of all time for sure. And they certainly let you in and kind of bring you into how they're feeling. Super heavy album, like I said, and tackle it in chunks. Listen to the first disc first, it's about 43 minutes, and then the second part 2 is about 43 minutes. If you try to do it all at once, it does get a little, you're kind of bored by the end. I'm not gonna lie. I love listening to it all the way through, especially if I'm depressed. I want to be even more depressed. Let's listen to this. But yeah, I'm excited for the band's follow up too. We should be getting it soon, hopefully this year. And tragedy kind of follows that band wherever they go. With Brent passing away last year as well, that was obviously a huge deal. He wasn't in the band at the time, but got kicked out, and then he passed away. So it's going to be interesting. The next record is certainly going to be interesting. So I am looking forward to it. Another band that means a shit ton to me, Unto Others with Strength, their second album. Their debut, Mana, they released it as Idle Hands. That debut actually blew up, and that came out in 2019. They got signed to Roadrunner Records. They released this in 2021. I think a lot of people jumped off, but I think this is a really, really solid follow-up. I don't think it's as good, and I don't think it's as good as Never Neverland, their 2024 album. But I really don't think they have a bad album. This is a solid listen. If you like Typo Negative, if you like gothy stuff, punky stuff, this is definitely for you. They are that type of band, like Sisters of Mercy stuff, goth rock. They kind of combine Iron Maiden with Sisters of Mercy, with Typo Negative, with the Ramones. They're a cool band. Gabriel Franco's vocals are definitely a hook. His vocals, he sounds like nobody else. Sebastian Silva's a ripper of a lead guitarist. So really cool band. And my wife and I dug them since 2019. Once Mana came out, we were like, okay, this is in. So they hold a special place in my heart because of that. It's a band that me and her have bonded over, and we'll probably follow till they're done. And we saw them on this tour as well. So that was a kind of a cool moment, and that was coming out of the pandemic. So like shows were happening, and they were starting to come back here in Phoenix, and they were playing a bar, and we were like, fuck it, let's go. And it was a super good show. We had a lot of fun, and yeah, they're a great band, and I'm excited to see what they do after Never Neverland, because I thought that was an excellent album as well. Great album cover too. I absolutely love it. Check out Heroin. If you haven't listened to this record, No Children Laughing Now is a really cool song. They do a really good cover of Hell is for Children. Check that as well. They do good covers. They do really good covers. On the Deep Cuts, the EP they released after this, which has like bonus tracks from this session. They did a Scorpions cover that's fucking awesome. Passion Rules the Game. It's a cool song. Summer Lightning is a good one. Yeah, but check out Heroin. That's a really heavy, good opener. That'll kind of give you a taste for this if you jumped off after the debut. All right. Let's keep it going here. Almost done. Let's go with probably my favorite release easily of 2021. One that I've probably spun the most. I just did a ranking of this band, so you can check it out on the channel. Helloween with their self-titled. One of the best comeback albums of all time, if you want to call it that. They brought back Michael Kiske. They brought back Kai Hansen. They kept everybody in the band. So they said, fuck it, we're going to have 7 people in the band and 3 guitarists and basically 3 lead singers, which sounds like an absolute disaster, but they nailed it on this album. It's a ripper. It's one of the best albums they've ever done in years. I put it up there with some of their classic stuff. It's truly a great listen. I still spin it probably once a month, like since 2021. So for like 5 years, spinning it like every month or so. It's just a great album, man. Super talented dudes. Saw them live on this tour in the States. So obviously I have that connection as well. Wife and I went to Vegas to see him. Then we went to Vegas again last month to see him on the 40th anniversary tour, which is probably a better show. But yeah, this is a great album, man. And if you haven't given Helloween a chance, I mean, obviously listen to Keeper and Keeper Part 2 and Walls of Jericho, but I would go here. Like, I would recommend this to a new fan. Honestly, Skyfall, the 12-minute closer, is one of the best tracks they've ever written, bar none. Also, Best Time is a super fun song. Fear of the Fallen is one of my favorite Helloween songs. You open with Out for the Glory, which is a great ripping opener. Kick-ass album, kick-ass band, great live. Probably the best album cover maybe the band's ever done too. Maybe controversial, but I dig it a ton. And this one is on nice gold wax. Fits the album cover really well. I dig it. Great production on that one too. Let's close it out with another little controversial release, I think, but one I spun a ton, and one I've spun like 5 times in preparation for this video, just because I'm like, I love this album. Super catchy, super good. Carcass with Torn Arteries, released in 2021. It's hard to believe it's been 5 years. Saw them on this tour as well, touring for this album. Saw them. They were touring with Obituary and Amon Amarth. Super fun show. And Carcass slayed. They were really good. I understand if old Carcass fans are like, nah, this ain't for me. But I'm a huge Melodeath fan. So I love Heartwork. I love Necroticism. So I loved Surgical Steel. So when they dropped this, years after Surgical Steel, I want to say it was like 6 or 7 years, they took their time. This album was a great follow-up to that. I think it's a great follow-up to all those albums. Is it maybe a little overrated? I don't know. I think they kind of get a Carcass bump just because they're one of those legacy acts. They get that bump, like a record that would be a 7 becomes an 8 because they're Carcass. I think it's really good, really catchy. I love some of the song titles. Eleanor, Rigor Mortis, great. Under the Scalpel Blade, that song's really good. Kelly's Meat Emporium, really good. In God We Trust might be my favorite. Also, The Sice Remorseless Swing. That song is really cool. Really, I love this era of Carcass and the Melodeath era of Carcass because it's super catchy and it's super danceable. Like danceable heavy metal with really good melody is really fun to me. And they absolutely nail it. Bill Steer is an absolute slayer of a guitar player, and I think he got better when Michael Ament came in. I think he learned a lot when Michael came in, and I think that definitely changed the band. But I think in my opinion, it changed it for the better. I know that might be controversial, especially to the old Carcass heads out there, but I absolutely love it. Jeff Walker's voice is absolutely amazing on this. He still sounds great. And he sounded great live, too. Amazing live. His voice is probably one of the most recognizable in all of death metal history, maybe in all of metal. His bass playing. And then Daniel Wilding, too, does really solid on the drums. Obviously, Ken Owens wasn't on this. So, it's the only album Ken Owen wasn't on. He did do some, I think, on Surgical Steel. I think he did record some on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, Dan does a good job. Like I said, they slay it live. A 3-piece that will blow most 5, 6-piece bands out of the water. So I really dig this album. This is a cool addition too, because it's on like a blood splatter. So yeah, guys, that's a bunch of records from 2021 with 5 that I really love and some honorables. Mostly metal, but some non-metal stuff too. I always try to sneak in some non-metal too, because I listen to so much different stuff. But yeah. Shout out to Mendicant Media. Congrats on 3,000 subs. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.